with a chance, with a chance, with a chance, with a chance. When the crowd gets busted, when the floor gets dusty, when your blade gets rusted, with a chance, with a chance. When your room smells funny, when a hex takes your money, what's gonna save you, honey? Just with a chance, with a chance. All you witches and all you old magicians, it's time to start listening to with a chance, with a chance. With a chance, with a chance, with a chance, with a chance.
Lie me with all of your lies, you're evil. I can look into your lies, you're evil. I can look into your face, you're evil. Lying all over the place, you're evil. Yeah, boy, into the night to roam. You lie, you know. Those looks you give me tell me that you're evil. I don't fit into your plans, you're evil. I can see the flash in your eyes, you're evil. You're just plain old evil. You're evil. Hey now, run into the night. You're a creature of destruction. Yeah, you know. Into the night to fight. Come on, baby, let's fight right now. I can see into your lies, you're evil. I hope I don't see you alive, you're evil. You know you're so evil. You're evil. You're so evil. You're evil. Hey, right into the night. You're a creature of destruction. I get you know. Into the night to fight. Come on, baby, let's fight.
Well, you're a mystic sister and you got through puberty. You think you might be pagan and you want community. You meet a sex magician who tells you how it will be, and he claims that the door is locked and he only has the key. He claims that he's an elder but he's only 33. He's got merry meat, he merry pot your legs to blessed be. He says you best get used to it, it's part of our religion. You think he might be full of shit, but you're a trusting pigeon. He brings you to a circle and the priest gives you a shove-in. Says we like polyamory and lots of carnal loving. So if you fuck my friends and me, we'll let you in our coven. And if you want a family, we'll put one in your oven. Witch war, twitch law, witch war, pitch saw, witch war, pitch law. Is he a lady conqueror? conqueror or just a soldier in a witch war? You think we get enough grief from Christian right-wing preachers? We shouldn't have to bite each other like some feral creatures. I hear there's trouble brewing with the Voodons and the Wiccans. They're sacrificing values instead of little chickens. And some folks scam the new age kids because they're easy pickings. A bunch of pagan characters right out of Charles Dickens. I thought being pagan meant we all should get along, and that every path has value and there is no right or wrong. But every time there's power, there are always those who grab it. Someone comes along and takes a whack at Laurie Cabot. Some other fool shoots back like Elmer Fudd out hunting wabbit. They end up coming off like Lou Costello and Bud Abbott. Witch war, kitsch score. Witch war, niche de jour. Witch war, switch roar. You know I ain't no carnivore, ain't got stomach for a witch war. I know a couple women who were married to each other, and they were polyamorous, and soon they found another. And then a jealous friend of the third woman's exes started raising bad juju and casting nasty hexes. So everyone found out just what power over sex is, ripping at each other like Tyrannosaurus Rexes. So free from harm must only be the law. And if you've got a problem with that sticking in your craw, then maybe you're a power monger trying hard to squeeze us. And you will not be welcome here until your witch war ceases. And everybody must be free to do as he, she pleases, no matter if they follow Satan, Buddha, Bob, or Jesus. Witch war, rich war, witch war, snitch war, witch war, bitch war. Try to make life a chore, try to draft us in a witch war. Witch war, are you a big predator? Witch war, tell me what's it all for? Witch war, hey, who's minding the store? I can't take it anymore, better quit it with your witch war.
Widdershins.
Widdershins.
Radio for your spiritual side. A twisted approach to the left-hand path and all the paths in between. I am Michael, or Birch, and my emotional support clown to the right of me is Marta.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say hi.
Hi.
We just heard the Widdershins theme song and then Witch War, both done by the Daryl Halmore Orchestra. We're doing the TikTok witches tonight. That's ManWitch3 on TikTok, his channel's down right now, but I think he's going to be back pretty soon. But he did a couple songs for us here. Then we heard 45 Grave with Evil, and then the last one was Fiona Horn's all-girl punk band from when she was 18.
The Mothers.
So several things that we actually have licensia to play. And I don't know if he even told you. Last week we did, or last show we had T.O. Brujo on, and we played I'm Gonna Put a Spell on You, Screaming Jay Hawk. That video got pulled from YouTube for copyright infringement.
Oh, God.
So normally we just get copyright infringement warnings all fucking day, and they never do anything. And it's almost like you can have a song list on YouTube of the songs that we played based on the copyright infringement list.
So that means that we can't play that song anymore?
No. So that's what.
Because we used to play it all the time.
Yeah,
That's why it was on your machine.
yeah. So I'm trying to stick to these songs that we have permission to play, and the obscure punk bands that we usually play, because they're never going to file for fucking copyrights. But Any rate, Widdershins. So we've been doing this thing, the Witches of TikTok, and we did the Root Workers of TikTok, and we did the Brujos of TikTok, and but then our guest today, it's like he could fall under a bunch of those fucking categories, but we just called it the Witches of TikTok for today. But probably one of my favorite presenters, performers, content providers, whatever the fuck you want to call that on TikTok, is ThatWitchyDude. He's been around a long time, way longer than me on TikTok.
Yeah, he talks about the olden days.
And he's
TikTok.
never involved in shit. And Marta was just checking it out beforehand. She goes, yeah, he's got 100,000 fucking followers. I go, yeah, and you'll notice it doesn't say ThatWitchyDude 2, 3, 4. I don't think he's had his account taken down before. And that's, in this day and age, pretty incredible. ThatWitchyDude, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. How are you?
Oh, doing pretty good.
So when do you know the year you got on fucking TikTok?
It was right after it switched from Musical.ly to TikTok. And
I don't even know about that, really.
Yeah, it was a whole different app. Well, it was kind of the same app, but different name, different owners, stuff like that. Huh. And just got it on a whim, really. So I want to say I've been on there for 4 years.
Wow.
4 or 5 years now, maybe, something like that. Yeah.
So you're like OG.
I think I could go back and look at 2017 videos.
Yeah. So one account the whole time. You never got taken down.
Yeah, no, never gotten taken down. Wow. I've gone through all the different. They've changed the guidelines, 1.5 million times. I've seen all the updates, all the new shit that they add, all that crazy stuff, and
he's an elder.
So I've been with it since the beginning.
A witch talk elder.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, and you've heard of witch talk, Marta, but you just hear of the shit that goes on. She stays out of that kind of thing. But there was a rumor. There was a guy, I think it's Devil's Advocate, did a history of witch talk a couple weeks ago. And in that, he credited you with the hashtag witch talk.
Oh, wow.
So actually he's a good friend of mine. We actually grew up maybe 30 minutes away from each other and figured that out online. But it was, I think the hashtag was actually around before I started using it. But I did start the Witch Talk Rising, and
I've seen that.
I think we just started to shorten that.
Wasn't it like Witches
or whatever?
Well, he said it was Witches of TikTok, and you shortened it to Witch Talk.
Honestly, maybe. I don't know. It's been so long.
I can understand. I can understand trying to dodge responsibility based on what Witch Talk became. You don't want to be associated with that. Your bastard child is run amok.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, at that point, it's kind of just like, look at this thing I've created. I pushed a rock down and fuck off.
Yeah. Now, now the new hashtag is Reclaim Witch Talk. There's another one too. So people trying to make it a better place.
Yeah, I know who started that hashtag too. So you know, for as much as I stay out of shit, I see a lot.
Yes. Well, we talk about that kind of stuff, especially when we've been doing all the, witches and brujos and everybody of TikTok shows, for the people that, don't understand. It's like they have these little hashtags, and the hashtags become communities. So people will say, you're in the Witch Talk community because you have used the hashtag Witch Talk, and then show up in that feed. That always has been so bizarre for me. It's like, this is a community? Really?
It's a trip. It's a trip.
And, we go through a lot of stuff there. There was the Digital Inquisition. I think we did a show on that when the Christians organized and started reporting witches' accounts and getting them taken down. And then, various witch wars and witches attacking each other and getting them taken down. But somehow, that witchy dude always comes out unscathed because he's never in. He's never involved in that shit. Maybe because he's been there longer. He saw that shit start in the first place. But yeah, you're never in that shit. Even when you tried to say that thing about Christianity, I forget exactly what you said. You were trying to stir up shit. I never saw any shit.
It's honestly, well, that's just all it really is at this point. It's I see all the craziness that goes on, and every once in a while, I will poke my head in there and say, hey, I'll just play devil's advocate and just be like, hey, what about this? And then people lose their fucking minds, and I'm just like sitting back there like, oh, this is fucking hilarious.
Well, the unfortunate thing on TikTok is it's a ratings game, and that works. Pissing people off works. And I don't think it hasn't come out specifically, but we all kind of know it. And it did come out specifically when Facebook had to testify. Having people fight is better for ratings. And,
absolutely.
And I'm sure TikTok's doing that. Although, they'll tag you for bullying and harassment every fucking minute, but they want you to bully and harass because they make more money.
Yeah, they honestly do. I've looked at that, and it's exactly what they want, and I'm just sitting there like, you know what? How do I even make content that's not, if I'm not stirring up some shit or jumping on a trend or whatever, then it's like, whatever. I don't get the views. And honestly, like at this point in the game, people like, you said, all right, well, you know that witchy dude, and, he does this thing, he stays out of everybody's shit, and, and he just kind of does whatever. Well, I've kind of just accepted that sort of backseat role in the whole witch talk community, and every once in a while I'll put videos up there to just, either poke fun at people, and, I try to make sure that they know that it's lighthearted and whatever. I'll give people shit for, like, I think I did something the other day on everybody freaking out over all the retrogrades, and I'm like, yeah, it's a fucking planet, shut up, like,
oh yeah, I think you call it,
other than that, I stay out of it.
Us interpreting a planet moving backwards, or words to that effect. I think I saw that.
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, it's basically what it is. It's closer to the fucking sun, so we pass it all the time.
Twice a year.
What's mystical in that? But I have, in my lifetime, seen, like, communications. Like, I'm a ham radio operator, and then I ran a pirate radio station for years, and I've seen, like, communications equipment get fucked up during Mercury retrograde. I've seen other communications too, but like weird radio shit gets fucked up during Mercury retrograde. But I was taught a witch takes the reins, not the ride. It's oh, Mercury's fucking me over. I'm gonna be all fucked for the next week until Mercury goes straight. You gotta fucking overcome that. Do something.
Exactly.
Whatever you're gonna do, fucking double down. Do it harder, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's the whole thing. I see a lot of people are like, if there's, a specific lunar phase or an eclipse. Oh, that's the big one, the eclipse. Anytime there's an eclipse, they're like, oh, it's eclipse season, don't fucking manifest them. Fuck you, man. I'll manifest every goddamn day.
Again with eclipses.
Yeah, eclipses or the moon's in the wrong phase. I mean, back in the day, that was the thing. People would say, oh, the moon's in the wrong phase, I can't do it. It's like, no. You need to pay your rent. You need to do the money spell, right? So, how about you banish poverty? You find another way to use those forces in the favor of the thing that you need to get done,
Right.
Use your fucking brain.
Yeah, get creative. I mean, that's the whole thing. And I had a mentor a long time ago. She told me, there ain't no such thing as a broke witch. Because if you're broke and you're a witch, you ain't a witch.
Absolutely. And then another thing, Marta, since you don't know, you looked at his page, you might have guessed, like, ThatWitchyDude's another one of those rare, almost extinct breeds that we don't find too often of a heterosexual male witch. They're rare. I
actually wasn't looking for that.
I know.
So
I'm just. That's why I had to tell you. I'm trying to fill you in because you're uninformed, and I don't want you to, feel ignorant over here. Okay. Because you pride yourself on being informed. But I've found quite a few heterosexual male witches on TikTok, and for my lifetime, that hasn't been the case in any witchcraft circles anywhere. You won't find that in the witchcraft circles on Facebook.
A lot of the ones here,
or YouTube.
Not all.
Well, definitely not all the ones here. That's always like they that question and answer thing popped up in my TikTok box. Do you support LGBTQ? It's like, duh.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of fucking every guy I know is fucking gay. If I said no, they'd kick my ass.
We met one a couple weeks ago, and that's why I remember, is because it's so rare.
And we have one other friend here that's a male witch that's not gay.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of, we met another one.
We had to bring him from Canada just to get
we
one
met
in.
another one, actually from California a couple weeks ago, remember?
Yes.
Papa Cap?
Papa Cap.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, kids and everything. A breeder.
A breeder, yes.
A breeder in a fertility religion. Go figure that. So where, I forgot, Marta was asking me earlier, where are you from?
So originally from right outside Chicago. Probably about 40 miles west of the city. And kind of grew up there for the most part. Did a lot of traveling as a kid, the whole, divorced parents thing, and, one parent moved away, so I was like, all right, I gotta go, got to split parenting time and all that shit. So, I got to see a bunch of different places when I was younger, but home base was Chicago.
That's a optimistic way of viewing that scenario that a lot of people have been through.
Well, I figure it this way. I was like 2 years old when my parents divorced, so I didn't really know anything else. That was my normal, and that's what I went with. And I'm not going to play the woe is me card on that because I don't believe in that.
Yeah. Definitely. And let's see. I've seen you doing either, I would say, some light farming or heavy gardening.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Some light farming or heavy gardening.
I actually stole that from Utah Phillips. I want to give him credit right there.
Okay.
It's a great term. But yes, a little bit of both.
Well, and I know you have a shop, and we'll talk about that in a bit. Are you do you grow stuff that you use in your shop?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I try to grow as much as possible. I mean, we have our greenhouse. We actually run a produce market.
Oh, wow.
And, so we run a produce market, and then next to the market, we have a 30 by 50 greenhouse where we start, all of our plants in and stuff like that. And so I grow a lot of stuff in there. I think, right now I have some Siempre Viva going and some Abre Camino, among some other stuff. And then we also have 2 300-foot-long high tunnels in the backfield. We got about 14 acres altogether.
Nice.
And then you're by Chicago now?
No, I'm in Michigan right now.
Oh, okay.
Wow, so Abre Camino's grow. Oh, in a greenhouse.
Yes, in a okay. I can grow anything I want because I have a greenhouse.
Yeah. Manwich 3, who the guy that did our theme song for the show, he grew it in Oregon in a greenhouse. And I tried twice in California, but I didn't do a greenhouse or anything like that, and it didn't work. But here in New Orleans, it just seems right at home.
Oh yeah. The humidity is probably just right.
Yeah.
Well, we I don't know if you've talked about this before, but when we were in LA, we tried to order it twice, and it just arrives and it's already dead. So we still try to save it, but it's like it arrives dead. It cannot grow in that dry climate.
I think I managed to keep it from totally dying for 2 days.
One time, and the second time we couldn't save it.
Yeah.
But here it's beautiful and happy and just great.
That's good. Yeah, I ran into that same issue a couple times. Trying different botanicas in different places. And then luckily, I am friends with somebody that runs a botanica in the Miami area, and was like, hey, what kind of plants do you have, and can you get them to me in good shape? And he was like, yep, I will take care of it. Just tell me exactly what your order is, and I will make sure it gets to you either like tomorrow or in perfect condition, whatever. If there's any problems, you let me know. I'll take care of it, whatever you need. And I'm like, all right, perfect. So I got lucky on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a few live plants off the internet, and turned out okay. Just especially like 2 days. If they can get it to you in 2 days, even in a box, even not well wrapped, it might be
Florida
okay.
To California, it's just not going to take 2 days unless you want to pay, a lot of money.
Oh yeah, they got to stick that on a plane.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's cool. I always like, shops that make their own stuff. But if you're growing this stuff to make your own stuff, that's just it's another level. There's a level upon level. It's like, well, first of all, you got ThatWitchyDude making your stuff. He's touching your stuff. He's stirring the cauldron. He's brewing the brew. He's growing the plants that are going in the brew. He's taking each bottle and clearing it out with cigar smoke. That's a lot of fucking work. I saw that video.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember that. I forgot I made a video about that.
No, I'm psychic, so I just saw that.
Yeah, I try to make sure that everything that goes out, is, obviously in some way, shape, or form, it passes through my hands, and it has to. Whether it's stuff that I make personally, which the majority of the stuff that I have is made. But, there are a few things that, you just can't get around, but, getting from a supplier, and, I still, do what I can to, make sure I get my hands on it and do what I need to do, because, and I think we've had this conversation before about just Florida water. Anybody can go to the store, go to CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, whatever, and pick up a bottle of Florida water. Well, it ain't going to do anything for you.
So horrible. It's awful.
Yeah, especially the stuff in the plastic bottle.
Yeah, that's
stuff. Oh God, yeah.
As opposed, when you make it, like, it actually smells like something I'd want to use just for the smell alone, like, even if it didn't have any other purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
But
and people get accustomed to that smell because it's the market for Florida water, I think, is so flooded right now because of social media.
Yeah.
That people are just like, oh yeah, I know this smell, I know this, blah blah blah. And I think I did a whole video on like different colonias that you can go with. You don't just need Florida water. I'm like, maybe check out 1800, maybe try something else. Kananga water, whatever. It doesn't have to be Florida water.
Yep.
When our dear departed friend Hoodoo Simbois, when his shop was closing down in the French Quarter, I went over there buy up everything I could, and he had a Kananga water. It's like, when you're on a plane, those little bottles they used to give. I don't think they give them anymore.
Bottles?
Yeah, the little shot bottles.
Yeah.
It was like that big. I don't never seen a distributor that even had that size, and it was like $12.95.
Yeah.
For that I was selling the regular size bottle for $7 something.
Hold on, I gotta say something.
Yeah.
His shop was right on Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like, you can sell like any whatever you want, and if you're a spiritual shop right in the middle of Bourbon Street, you can mark it up.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
his
well,
rent
yeah.
was a lot more, because he was on Bourbon Street. So that's just kind of how it works.
That's why I'm kind of glad they always gave me a discount when I went in there. So.
Yeah.
It's like, because he legitimately had legitimate hoodoo stuff that you'd be using to do stuff.
And
then all the tourist stuff.
he sold you the Santa Marta statue right off his altar.
Yeah.
For me.
Well, he wasn't there, but yeah.
No, but
Wow.
he got a phone call.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Then he gave me a discount, and I wasn't trying to get a
Yeah,
discount.
that's what I'm saying. He's just awesome.
I was just trying to go in and, buy some stuff for my friend because his shop was going out of business and give him some money.
Yeah.
And get a cool statue for you for your birthday because you're Santa Marta. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. But anyway.
Nice.
So how long you been, how long's your shop been out there online?
Man, I want to say I started on Etsy.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, and I was contemplating, whether or not to just do a website straight away or just start on Etsy. And luckily I had the help of somebody that's in the, the witch talk community, who's extremely successful in business. If you've heard of Witch Baby Soap,
No.
Chelsea, I think she just opened her third location. And she found her niche and took off. And she was actually kind enough to, kind of give me some pointers on the whole business aspect of things and stuff like that. And she's like, just stick with Etsy. It's what people know. It's what people trust. So I started on Etsy in maybe 2019. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say probably 2019. Yeah. And then did the .com maybe not even a year later. So, it's ThatWitchyDude.com. It's been up since, for 2 years now.
Yeah. ThatWitchyDude.com.
Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
Oh, they're trying to tell us it's going to rain again. They're never right. Fuck you people.
It's sunny right now.
I'm sure the microphone heard the alert.
Yeah.
So you ever think about opening like a brick and mortar?
Yeah, I've gone down that road a couple times, looked at some buildings. It's really just kind of about the location right now and just the way that the market is from a real estate aspect. It's absolutely insane. The housing market's crazy, let alone trying to get a commercial property. It's absolutely nuts. Yeah. So, and then you gotta factor in the location because I'm about an hour outside of Detroit. Where I'm at in Michigan, and there is one shop that's about 10 minutes down the road from me that I do events with her. I'm friends with her. We do like the trade show type thing together, and then as you get closer to the city, you start getting more and more more and more shops popping up. My favorite one though is Motown Witch, and if you guys were friends with Simon Wees, you'll know who Motown Witch is because she started the Detroit Hoodoo Festival 2 years ago. And he started coming up there with like Hungan and Jack and a couple other people. So there's I love going into her shop because it's a little bit more my speed because it's not like you walk in and there's crystals and tarot decks and fucking smoke bundles everywhere. It's I walk in and I'm like, this is a Botanica. This is where I need to be.
Well,
I will take the drive into the city to go there.
The Botanicas I remember were always like in the back of a store. Like every Mexican market in Southern California, there was a little Botanica back there. You just had to like wander back there. And I always remember the witch store that I grew up in. You walked in. The New Age hadn't happened yet, but there was a bunch of semi-precious stones, herbs, roots, some metaphysics books, strolled around, some statues, that kind of stuff. And there was this beaded curtain, and you either had to. There was kind of a glamour on the beaded curtain. I'm not going to tell the story because it's too long. But either you had the glamour on the beaded curtain lifted, or you just had the audacity to walk through there. And in the back was the witch store. So it was kind of like
Gotcha.
what we would call a New Age store today, but it was like a metaphysics store in the front. And then the witch shit was in the back. And I think, roughly still that layout at that shop to this day. It's one of the oldest shops in the country.
Hey, which shop?
Nice.
Sorry.
Die of the Cat.
Oh, yeah.
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 But that's where all the action is. I mean, that's still like that's how I really got into working, root work and conjure and stuff like that. Was kind of a shop like that. I when I lived down in North Georgia, the Chattanooga, Tennessee area, I walked into a shop. I had booked a reading. Just I booked a regular tarot reading because I was like, I want to see who this person is, what they're all about. They were, pretty close to me, so I said, fuck it, let's see. And I go in, and there's like nothing. There's like nothing there's maybe a couple bottles of Florida water, a couple figure candles up front. There's not even like a register, and It's just an open ass space. And then, she just, this little old black woman just, she, come on, baby, come on. And she just waves me on and sits me down at a card table in like a completely cluttered office. And shit, man, that was where everything was at. It was on from there. And she took a liking to me, and we hit it off. And it was one of those things where when it was my time to go in there, she just locked the damn front door, and we'd go on in the back and do what we needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah, it sounds very similar, except the woman in mine wasn't a black woman. But other than that, yeah. I remember when I opened my brick and mortar, we were also activists, and it was a worker-owned collective.
The anarchist library.
Yes,
was housed
the
there.
anarchist library was housed there. It was a worker-owned collective union shop under the industrial workers of the world, and mostly classes and stuff. It's just like we were just like making random shit. We didn't have a whole lot of distributors. We got books from
And
book
the classes
dealers.
were all free.
And the classes were like free by donation, and it's just like it was mostly like classes and events and a space to have rituals. About 2 years into it, one of our elders, Allison Harlow, who I grew up reading her name in books like Drawing Down the Moon and shit, and she says, "I'm just curious. She's like, are you guys trying not to make money? Because we really need a witch store in this town, and we'd like you to stick around, but there's no way you're making a fucking profit." And we're just like a bunch of anarchists who go, profit?
Yeah, you have to
Profit
think about
bad.
that. Yeah.
No profit.
Yeah, right.
We don't want profit.
Fuck
No
capitalism.
profit. So it took me a while. I came around.
Yeah, I understand.
Buy low, sell high. I know
it's
people.
a fine line.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know so many people that like you're growing stuff, and that brings down the actual cost of your materials. I've known so many people to fail because they try and sell based on the cost of their materials rather than selling it at the market rate, which actually your materials are cheaper, but I would think in a magical context your materials are better because you worked with them, you commune with them.
That's what I try to go for.
Yeah.
It's not so much about, and this is the thing, like, if I were to do a brick and mortar, and I know, my girlfriend, she's got different ideas about how things want to, how she wants like store to be laid out and designed and stuff like that.
They all do.
Because, she has an interior design background.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, go for it. But like, this is what I'm thinking. Because I want that old, like, where, I came into, root work and conjure in Georgia. It was there was nothing pretty about it. There was none of this like aesthetically pleasing bullshit at all.
Right.
Like I was like, you gotta
get
understand.
your
I
hands
learned this
dirty.
shit at a folded card table. Like,
Yeah.
it's I want like just a screened in fucking porch door with shit everywhere, and just you come in, and if you know what
that's
you
how
want,
you know
come talk to me, and that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how you know you've gone to a place where the food's really good. Is if it looks sketchy as shit, the food's really good.
It's authentic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the witch store I grew up was the dirtiest in the world, but probably about maybe 10 years into my brick and mortar, A friend of ours who's he's gay and he's like a drag queen and stuff, and he just took classes at the shop. He said, you should paint the floor black. I look at it like a tiled floor, and I go, what do you mean paint the fucking floor? He goes, yeah, you get some fucking tile paint. You paint it fucking black. And my shop was like covered in murals. There was murals for each of the 4 quarters. And he comes in and he paints the fucking floor black. And people have been coming into the shop for years. They go, oh my God, these murals are incredible. They've been there for 10 fucking years. These people have been coming in there.
Yeah, they noticed the murals because the floor was black.
And so I just look at this guy and I just said, okay. And then I let him do a couple more things. Yep. And then everything worked. I said, okay, I recognize you have some special gay man skill that I lack.
Well, he used to
for design.
do
It was like he did like flowers and he'd do like window designs. It's like,
yeah.
I don't know how you're doing this or what you're doing it, and I don't even understand it, and what you're saying makes no sense. And I just broke out my checkbook and said, tell me how much of a check to write. Just do it.
Right.
Do whatever you're gonna fucking. And nothing that this guy didn't fucking work. I was comfortable, writing on a bag with a Sharpie, not having a label. That's like authentic witch store to me, but that's not what the market wants.
That's what the tourists want.
Yeah.
The tourists want it.
People
Yeah.
who are playing around, that's
Yeah,
what they want.
yeah.
But like the real, practitioners or the people who care about the real practitioners, you don't really care if it's like that.
But the thing is, no matter where you are, there's not enough real practitioners to keep you in business.
Yep.
You've got to have stuff for them
that's
tourists,
the thing.
man.
You got to appease at some point.
Yeah. It's like
The people-
At what point do you sell your soul?
Yep.
Yeah. Like the most successful
After you
person.
have kids, that's when you start selling your soul.
Probably the most successful.
Oh, no, I know.
The most successful person, I think, in our industry is our friend Christian Day. And his shop, while you can find stuff for real practitioners if you dig around in the corners and shit, most of it's tourist stuff. And it's like I've always been marketing to actual practitioners. And that's ultimately the problem with brick and mortars. Unless you have enough actual practitioners in that area, you're not going to make it. You're going to make most of your money off the website anyways, so why even bother? But unless you're in a place like Salem, but then there's too many fucking shops. Or you're in New Orleans, but then there's too many fucking shops.
Right, exactly. And there's actually the funny thing, the place that I've been looking for, a brick and mortar. There's actually 2 metaphysical shops within like a quarter mile of each other, and one of them is how you would envision like a straight up new agey metaphysical shop with the crystals and the tarot decks and the statues and the candles and the whole kit and caboodle. And I'm just like, you walk in and I'm just like, there's no fucking and that's what I do. I like to go to all these different shops and we will walk in, and if I don't feel anything, I'm fucking leaving. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I want something to try and push back on me, because if I don't feel anything, fuck you. And then of course they're charging out the ass, but the culture being what it is these days, you got witch magazines and shit out, and they're selling the aesthetics. So that shop does better than the one right down the road, which is, selling roots in a fucking bag that's got, a Sharpie label on it, but that's the real stuff.
Yeah. I mean,
So, it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yep.
I mean, if you do a brick and mortar, you gotta have the website too.
Yeah.
It's a bigger pond.
And you gotta have the fancy packaging.
Yeah.
You can't
People
do the
want that
Sharpie
shit.
on the plastic bag. You have to have.
Yeah, I've upgraded to I have labels that I put on my oils and stuff like that. So I've upgraded a little bit.
Do your oils smell pretty?
No. No, there's that, and that's what trips me up every time is, a handful of times, depending on what it is, I will drop a little thing of an essential oil in there to, appease whoever, whatever, it's fine, whatever. But, and 9 times out of 10, if I know the person that's like ordering, then I'm like, I don't have to make this smell like anything to them. They know what the fuck's up, you know. It's all good.
Yeah, if you can make to order, you know, the
Yeah.
different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
But, you know, I banged my head against that machine for a very long time, and I told everybody, look, magical oils, when I was growing up as a kid, they smelled like dirt.
Yep.
They smelled like roots and shit. And that's the
Well,
thing.
yeah, I mean, if you're doing it right, you're burying your damn bottles anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And but then, you know, the new age came along and aromatherapy came along, and some of these baby witches out there think that essential oils are the magical oils. Where can I get really good essential oils? Thinking
Except
it's a
I have
magical
to
oil.
say, and which we just talked
Yeah.
about, when it comes to Florida water,
Yeah.
I like that it smells nice when it's homemade.
Well, and the one
as
you're talking
opposed to
about,
in the bottle.
and that tends to be made with essential
Yeah,
oils.
exactly.
So, but you know, eventually I had to give in. It's like, okay, I'm going to make the oils the same way we ever fucking did. I'm going to add 3 drops of this and 3 drops of that and make it smell nice. You know, and that'd be appropriate for what you're fucking doing. But, you know, to survive, you got to give the people what they want, even if what the people want is stupid.
Right. Well, yeah, that's exactly what it is, and it all comes down to, you know, a matter of opinion and what, like you said, what they want. And
I mean, there is
so,
some power.
you know, I'm lucky enough to have an eclectic group of clients to where, you know, I know, you know, like you said, I can kind of put orders together accordingly.
That's always cool. See, I'm on the other side of that. I can't do that anymore. And people expected me to do that, you know. But for me, it was it got to where the orders were 3-month turnaround. You know, that's how long it would take me to make something for somebody, you know, adhering to magical timing and all that. And most of my customers were good with that, but I'm just at the point where, you know, I hire people to do that. I can't run the shop and do all that shit anymore right now.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing too, is, you know, now, yeah, like you said, you've hired people to do that, and now you're taking stuff out of your hands, and, you know, so that's going to lose a little bit of the juice.
So far, I've only done it with students of mine, so they're you know,
Okay.
at least well trained. With me and Manwich were doing a thing for a while there. But let's see, what was I going to ask you? So, what would you call yourself? What would you be your magical pronoun?
My magical pronoun. Honestly, shit. I got away from the witch thing. I'm not pagan. I don't even really vibe with that, or let alone even fit the definition of that word.
So what would you call yourself?
I would
That's what it's
say
getting, hopefully.
Okay.
probably just a root doctor, you know,
Okay.
a conjure man.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you know, and I know that witchy dude is a total misnomer, but that was a spur of the moment random name that just popped into my head. You know,
Well,
like
you
Spirit
know,
was just
as
like,
far
fucking
as I'm
call it this,
concerned-
and that's what I did, and I ran with it.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, that everything you said is all, you know, quote unquote witchy stuff. So it totally works.
Do you ever use the word root doctor on TikTok?
I think I have on occasion.
Okay. How'd that go?
About as good as can be expected on that platform.
Well, you know, I've found that a lot of the people that I argue with, and I have argued just for ratings sometimes on whether or not hoodoo's a closed practice, when I used the word root worker, they didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. And so at that point, it's like, okay, conversation's over. Anything you had to say about being an authority on hoodoo was out the window when you didn't know what a root worker was.
Right. Well, you know what? And the way that I was kind of brought up into that style of practice was, you know, it was, hey, you know, you don't have to call this anything. You know, this is just what you do. You know, this is what you learn, blah, blah, blah. You know, you don't call it this, that, and the third. And, you know, so I was like, all right, you know, no big deal, whatever. And you know, I know that, you know, the terms hoodoo, root work, and conjure kind of all get thrown together, you know, for general purposes. But, I mean, there's a difference in all three of them. And You know, so I don't try to ruffle anybody's feathers with that shit. And, you know, the people that want to, you know, come for me, I don't pay them any mind. It is what it is. And, you know, there's just a lot of ignorance going on, and I don't feed into it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think one of the things that, you know, I told Marta too before this, like, well, that witchy dude's like, he's a jack of many trades. But some of the trades he just doesn't really talk about on TikTok, because when you do, people are dicks about it, and you know, that keeps you out of some of that shit. Like root doctor, but I've never heard you use that term on TikTok before.
I don't think I've ever said it in a video. I might have talked about it on a live, but but yeah, I mean, there's that, and I mean, it's no secret that, you know, I do work in the leukemia faith. You know, I am a part of that, so I do work with Orisha, and so, you know, there's a lot of people that give me flack for that, and you know, that is what it is. That's one of those that's, you know, if you're not initiated into that path, then those are going to be the loudest people to say you can't do this, you can't do that. But the people that are understand, and they either say something about it to these other idiots, or they just are like, hey man, don't worry about it. And so I don't.
Right on.
I let the ignorant do all the talking.
That's how I've been feeling lately in politics too.
Yeah.
Let the ignorant do the
I
talking.
don't even touch any of that shit with a 10-foot stick.
Yeah.
All the arguing's ever done is get me into Facebook jail,
Yeah.
TikTok jail. I'm a
Yeah,
big
man, you're
defender.
always in some kind of trouble.
Yeah. He just can't stop talking.
I know. I've been trying to be good. You know, I finally got my viewers on the uprise for this long ass shadow ban. I don't know what I did to break it, but trying not to fuck it up. I at least got to get back up to 65,000 followers, like my original account when they took it. But now I know some different things. I don't know if you've ever had to go through the process, but if I knew what I knew now, I'd have that 65,000 fucking follower account. I'd have gotten it back. There's certain threats you have to make in a certain way to TikTok, and you have to spam them until somebody finally fucking sees them. Yeah, you can't just hit submit appeal.
Oh yeah. No, it's like I said, it's been, I've seen it change so many times with, you know, I've seen the algorithm change, I've seen the rules change, like all that, and I was like, you know what? I just threw my hands in the air. I was like, I don't know what the fuck you guys want anymore, so I'm just gonna do whatever I want. Like, you can go through my page and you can see me dancing to some '80s song. I don't give a shit. It's got nothing to do with witch talk or spiritual crap or nothing. Like nothing. It's just me in the kitchen dancing like a jackass. I don't care.
So nobody's ever reported one of your guitar solos, huh?
Oh hell no.
You have guitar solos on your page?
Oh yeah, I got a whole other account just for my music stuff.
You know,
Really?
I'm pretty sure I followed you on that account, but can't remember the last time something popped up.
No, it's been a little while since I've posted on there. I need to get back over there and post some content. But yeah, it's strictly just a music page, just you know, a way to escape the all the craziness of the normal shit on the spiritual side of things.
Yeah, so you're a musician too?
Oh yeah.
I'm talking, I gotta pee.
How long have you been playing music?
Since I was like 10.
Okay, do you have a band or anything?
20-something years.
Okay. Do you play an instrument or anything?
Yeah. So I grew up playing the guitar. My dad was a drummer, so we always had a drum kit.
Nice.
Picked up the drums, and but yeah, mainly I'm a guitar player, and you know, growing up around Chicago, there's a lot of blues.
Yeah.
To listen to, and so I gravitated to that. That was kind of like my first love as far as music goes. And I've never stopped listening to the blues, playing the blues. That's where I feel almost at home with that style of music.
Yeah. Are you in a band or anything?
No. I mean, I've been in bands on and off, just, you know, not necessarily like going out and playing shows all over the place, but we just jam around. I was in a band in high school, and just kind of playing with different musicians, and whatever, just doing open mics and shit like that. Nothing crazy.
It's funny about how living in a certain place influences you to a certain kind of music. Michael and I, before we moved to New Orleans, we didn't give a rat's ass about
jazz,
wind instrument,
blues.
sax or trombone or like any of that, like big
Those are
bands,
dead
like
to most of
marching
the
bands.
country.
Like in California, like only the geeks and the losers are in marching band, but here, it's kind of a rite of passage, and they're really good. And we have a totally brand new appreciation for that kind of music, and we never really thought about it before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny how the
it's
power of
definitely,
place does
that's
that to
awesome.
you.
Yeah. The blues. I never thought I'd like any jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah, but New Orleans jazz is a bit different.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit. I've listened to other types of jazz, and then you go see I've actually never been to New Orleans, but I see people taking videos of jazz bands and stuff. I'm like, oh, that hits a little bit different.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very different experience. Well, you got to come to New Orleans, but it can suck you in. It does.
Yeah, that's on the list. That's it's going to be coming up soon. I know. Me and the missus really want to get down there, and there's a bunch of friends that are like, oh my God, like we gotta all get together and go to New Orleans sometime. And so there's a bunch of us, and I was like, I got some people down there I want to go, meet and see and stuff like that. Different shops I want to hit and all that stuff.
Yep.
Well, I've got this whole theory these days that, I was a bibliophile. I like books, old books, musty books, out of print books, that kind of thing. But you got to roll with the world you're in, and these kids just don't care about fucking books anymore. It's not about books. In my day, to be a big name pagan or a big name worker or big name whatever, you had to have a fucking book. The rally cry was publish or perish. I remember one of the first times I heard Christian Day on his radio show, he was saying that. I was like, well, I really don't think that's the case anymore. I don't think most of these kids have read any of these fucking books, and they don't read books. And there's a whole different generation. And I've been, we came here to do Hex Fest in 2019, and I was the only motherfucker there that didn't write something. I was the only one there presenting that didn't have a book to sling. I like to think of that as a revolutionary moment.
I don't think Elias has a book.
I thought, well, he's working on it. He was working on a book, at least. Or they had a book, in the works, that kind of thing. But it was always, the big name authors, and I was the first internet witch to be booked for one of these things. And then now, I've been booked for a few of these things. And then now, Witches Fest. Yep. I got the Spirit Witch booked on that too.
I saw that.
And she didn't have a book either, so that worm seemed to be turning. And I think there's diamonds in the rough out there. There's a lot of bullshit on all of the social media platforms, and there's some really fucking good and wise fucking people out there teaching some good shit. Maybe we get maybe we get you booked for Hexfest, and then you got to come to New Orleans.
Yeah.
I'll drop your name.
And you get your board paid, flight.
Yeah. Well, next time when we have Christian over, I'm gonna, after he had a couple drinks, I'm gonna broach that. Say, hey,
he doesn't really drink.
You need to open it up to new venues.
You
and
might
there's
have
a whole
to
bunch
put
of
some roofies in his water or something.
Sometimes they can get him to drink. He'll drink like a stout.
Okay, he will drink a stout occasionally.
But, I'll bring that up. It's like, all right, you've had these same old motherfuckers coming every fucking year, man. Let's have some new blood.
Yeah.
TikTok witches.
Oh, my God. You know what? That just...
the good ones.
That just makes me cringe a little bit, though.
The good ones.
The good ones,
yeah.
Well, now, if you've been listening to the series and you're thinking about, getting on TikTok, what I recommend is like find somebody you want to follow, like follow ThatWitchyDude, follow Uncle Birch 3, something like that. See who they follow those people, or some of those people, and then just stick to your following page. Scroll on your following page. You don't want to go to your For You page for quite a while. Just stay away
don't do that.
from the For You page for a little bit until you get used to TikTok. Just stay on the people you're following, and you can learn a lot of stuff. But once you go to the For You page, it's a larger ocean. Lots of sharks and shit. You never know what's going to come up.
Yeah, you gotta check your emotions on that page for sure. Believe me, I got a lot of videos that I've made that have never gotten posted because of the For You page.
We know a thing that I've noticed.
I stay out of everything, but damn it, I've come close.
Well, I like, occasionally when I go to TikTok jail, my main account, I have to go to one of my other accounts. And I've found that even though I have 2 accounts that are definitely all about witchcraft, all the hashtags are witch talk, or witches TikTok, all that shit. I get an entirely new crowd on each one of those pages that I never see over on this fucking page. And they're all into the same stuff, and they're talking about the same stuff. So there's a lot to figure out about the algorithm. But when I start a new page, I get exposure to a new crowd. Then I meet people, and then there's people I'll follow from, my main account. That's weird. They're all into the same stuff. They're all using the same hashtags, but a lot of those people just don't show up. There's new people that show up.
Yeah, and, there was... I can't remember how long ago it happened, but there was a massive influx of new users on TikTok. And, I noticed it, and I wasn't doing anything different. I just, for whatever reason, just got flooded with a shitload of followers for no reason. And I'm just like, are these bots, what's going on? And then I was like, no, there's been a spike in people getting on the app. And then also you got to think too, there's some really, really large content creators out there that have witchy content creators that have millions of followers. So, they're out there. They're definitely out there.
Yeah.
It's all about, how do you get into all of that. And unfortunately, I think the people that have those massive following counts like that are, I don't want to be sitting here shitting on people, but I think they just play into it. It's a clout game for them.
Yeah.
And, I can't really do that. I can't buy into that. And that's why, I stopped. The only time I cared about what my follower count was me and my best friend who started the app together the same fucking day. As a joke, started, gaining followers and whatever, making stupid videos. Before I even realized that there was a spiritual community, we had a race to 20,000 followers, and then that was it. After that, we didn't give a fuck.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed this because you haven't had to switch accounts, but so my account was at 5,000 for months, and just trickle. All of a sudden, something happened, kind of like what you just described. I don't know. I did Google a thing. How to get more subscribers on TikTok or more followers. And I implemented 3 of those things. And I don't know. I'm a magician, so I got to say, action equals reaction. I did take an action. There seems to have been a reaction, but it just, I don't understand why. But huge, I'm up to 49,000 all the fucking sudden within a week of being at 5,000. And, with the exception of that white sage video that's got 1.7 fucking million hits and nobody will stop talking about it, the traffic is not that much different. There's a lot more people commenting on stuff, but if I look at the amount of hits I have in an hour on a video compared to the amount of hits I'd have in an hour on a video when I had 5,000 followers, I don't see much of a change. So I'm not really sure if I believe the follower count. And like you said, maybe there's bots. Maybe somebody out there got me a bunch of bots because they like me or something. I don't fucking know.
Well, I see that too, and it's and I actually what I've noticed is because I don't remember exactly what my number is, but it fluctuates. I'll go back and forth. I will wake up and suddenly like 300, and then like an hour later, there's 500, more followers, and so that I'm just like. Me overnight and then 500 new people decide they like me, or is this like a bot game?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just TikTok is the algorithm of TikTok is a dark art that I don't yet understand, and so far I've never shied away from any one of those, so I'm going to at some point figure out TikTok.
Yeah.
But I came to TikTok because I was on Facebook. And, well, first of all, one of my students told me, hey, there's people teaching witchcraft on TikTok. Okay. Isn't that the place where you could, do 60-second fucking videos? How the fuck is that happening? And then so I'm kind of curious. And then he sends me another message. There's somebody on TikTok says they're going to hex the moon and the fae. I go, oh, I got to see this shit show. So I signed up for TikTok. I never saw that person. Did you ever see that person? I've only seen people talking about that person.
I think that was all a manufactured bullshit story to just get people all up in arms.
It got me to
really
TikTok.
Think that's what they figured out.
Yeah. I saw plenty of people talking about that. Plenty of people, responding to that. But I never found any person out there who was trying to hex the moon and the fae. But it was a ludicrous enough idea to get me on TikTok. So maybe that was the point. They're trying to get more people, trying to get all those old people on Facebook on TikTok. Now look what you did.
Yeah. Yeah, that was at this point, like I said, I sit there and I laugh at half of the shit. Every once in a while, I'll get an inkling to. Make a comment or make a video about something or whatever. And then, like I said, maybe like 9 times out of 10, it never makes it to the actual, upload.
What, they stop it or you just decide not to upload it?
Oh, no, I just decide not to post it because I go through this thing where I'll sit there and like watch what I'm about to post. I'll watch it a handful of times and so I'm like, you know what? No, because, and here's the thing that a lot of people don't think about. It's real easy to make a video. It's real easy to, post a comment, no matter what the platform is. It doesn't have to be TikTok. It could be anywhere. But it's real easy to make this content, throw it out there, and then turn around and delete it when you all of a sudden get shit for it. Mm-hmm. But what I don't think these people are realizing is, it's not the people. It's almost like a blessing in disguise that they have the ability to do this, be these keyboard warriors and, whatever. But at the end of the day, you're not answering to, however many people see your video or read your comment or whatever. You're answering to your spirits. You have now put yourself in a fucked up situation because you couldn't control your emotions and you went off on a tangent like a jackass. And now like, oh, well, cool. I'm just going to delete it so nobody can see that I said this or I put this out there or whatever. No, your spirits know you put that shit out there. So, buckle up, buddy.
Yeah. Well, the internet's not going to forget either. It's out there somewhere. It's in somebody's cloud.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But for the simple fact that people can pop off and then delete shit later like it never happened, and that's all good and well for the internet. But what does that really say about your spirituality? I mean, that doesn't sound like doesn't sound like you're really knowing yourself, or maybe you just need to take a step back and decide. Maybe don't be a douchebag, and I don't know, but I think that people take the social media stuff too seriously, and it really gets, and even and I've seen it take down good spiritual people where I'm just like, dude, like I'll see somebody say something, I'm like, what are you doing? Like what the fuck are you doing? And I keep that to myself. I'm not out there commenting on stuff, whatever. But people buy into it, and it's become such a culture of of like bickering and you know, whatever's pleasing aesthetically and, you know, marketing and all this shit. And I'm just like, where's the spirituality at in here? Like, I don't see it at all. And I've contemplated just leaving the app altogether.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is not doing anything for me on a spiritual level. It's not rewarding. Like, I really just feel like a fucking, you know, a marketing dude now that I'm just there. Like, my presence is only there because I have a website and, you know, I need to pay bills, you know, like,
Yeah.
that's, so, you know, I toy with that, you know, every once in a while, and you know, I'm just like, you know what, and sometimes I think about just what I just said, you know, I'll think about making a video about that, and then I'll be like, you know what, no, I don't need to, because is it worth my time? Probably not. You know, is it going to do me any good to put this out there? No, probably not. So
Yeah.
therefore,
I did that
I just
twice
keep my
last
mouth
night.
shut and go about my business and do what I need to do on my end. And you know what? I guarantee you I'm probably a lot better off than 90% of the idiots on there.
Yeah. Well, I remember, you know, I come from a time before email, and back in the day, me and Marta, we had just for our covens, this Yahoo group, and it just descended into hate and chaos and attacks. And I remember thinking about it. It's like, you know, back the witches that I knew back, you know, in my homeland before I moved to that land, we didn't have email, so I would, like, you know, write letters to them and shit. And you know, half those letters never got sent, because, you know, you sleep on it, and the next day it's like, oh shit, what was the fuck was I thinking? What was I was gonna say that to him? No, that's not gonna go over well, or I don't feel that way anymore. I'm not mad about that anymore. And the next day, and I just never sent the fucking letters. But we get to this point where you just immediately type and fucking send, and shit happens. And then, so this is way before TikTok and YouTube and all that. And I remember thinking at the time, it's like, okay, in classical witchcraft, you know, we talk about communications being ruled by the element air. But the communication we're using right now, this computer thing, all the electricity and stuff, it's more the element of fire. And, you know, mathematical calculation of light sent out, but it's more like fiery. And back then we called them flame wars. Flame wars would suddenly burst out, and people be flaming each other back and forth. And I've often, you know, thought of that over the times. Like, we're further down the rabbit hole. Our communication source is being run by fire, and so, of course, it's pissing people off. But maybe if, you know, we just couldn't press send. It was like
Right.
that movie, The Interns. Where they
The internship. Yeah, they're like, yeah, before you send this message, solve this problem.
Yes.
You're drunk as fuck. Don't do it.
Yeah. They came up with an app for stop people from drunk texting.
That was a
It was
good
like,
app.
yeah, that was a fucking good app. That was something the world really fucking needs. But it's just like rage texting. You know, we've got, you know, AI capabilities, facial recognition, you know, train an app to look at your face and tell if you're too pissed off to press send. Say, no, I'm not going to let you do that. Nope, you got to sleep on it. A lot more of that shit won't get sent.
You can check your blood pressure or something.
Check your blood.
Yeah, right, yeah. What's your blood pressure at right now? You're not allowed to hit the send button.
They could probably do that, you know, rig one to, you know, plug into the iPhone.
Yep.
I thought, you know, have it on a little cord.
If they wanted to.
I think they
badly
even have
enough,
shit
they could
like
do
that. It'll test your
Oh,
blood
they
pressure.
already do.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
know
yeah.
everything that they know what's all going on.
Yeah. Little chip. All right, let's take a quick little break.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Smoke them if you got them.
we
I
need a
know
quick little
Marta.
break.
Marta needs some more wine in her glass and shit. Wittershins. We'll be right back.
My cup underflowing.
Your cup underflowing.
Well,
Absinthe is the aphrodisiac of the self. The green fairy who lives in the absinthe wants your soul.
Damned on Widdershins Radio, and I think we heard the Mothers again. Before that, Fiona Horn's all-girl punk band from when she was 18, and she gave us permission to play. Ha 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 ha! We're here with our guest, ThatWitchyDude. You can find him on TikTok as ThatWitchyDude. Also, ThatWitchyDude.com, where he's got a shop, and he's doing readings. What kind of readings you do over there?
So more or less, it's just an intuitive session. I will use cards, but I try to stay away from that. They're really just kind of focal points for me. I think a lot of people get hung up on, I used to have it as just a general reading, and people would be like, oh, well, I want to know about this. I want to know about that. I want to know about that. I'm like, listen, you booked your time. It's your time. Whatever the hell you want to talk about is what we're going to talk about. It's your time. And so, yeah, I just do intuitive reading. It's all on video chat. And obviously, unless you're local, then we'll sit down face to face. But yeah, I do it all over video chat. And, if something needs to come through, if you got, I don't advertise, mediumship sessions, but, during general readings, it happens. It comes, if somebody needs to talk, they're going to talk. So there's that. And I think I have a section there where it's, kind of an ask me anything type deal where it's like a quick 15, 20-minute ordeal. You can, you don't sit there and ask me about your love life or whatever, we can look at shit like that. And, but for the most part, the clients my client list is, they're people that are looking generally for some guidance, some messages from spirit and so on and so forth. So, I do an hour-long session, but that's more along the lines of like a spiritual guidance, spiritual development type thing. And I don't do mentorship or offer classes or anything like that. So, the closest you're going to get to picking my brain for stuff is going to be like that spiritual guidance session.
Very cool. And don't you sometimes go live on TikTok and do like, one card readings, something like that? I think I saw that.
Yeah. I'll do live readings, on TikTok. It's, and I just keep it like a donation based thing, just to keep the energetic exchange going. I'll generally pull 3 cards, unless something more needs to happen, then it happens. But, I just do that for, whoever wants to do it. And, like I said, it's a donation based thing. I don't, there's, TikTok readers are a dime a dozen, and, there's always, this is $15 minimum and $5 minimum or whatever, because I get people in the comments all the time on the lives. What's the minimum donation? I was like, there is no minimum. There's no minimum. You can literally send me a penny. I don't give a shit. Like, just exchange the energy. So yes. I do that on live. More or less it is, to just kind of promote the readings, the private sessions, because I'll get people in there asking specific questions. I'm like, these are all general messages, and if you want to sit down one-on-one, you can book a private session.
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure I probably said that on TikTok before. It's one of the oldest magical laws there is, and it covers so many things. The law of exchange. And this is right. One of those places. For everything that is taken, something must be given. Cross my palms with silver, man. Marta here, for her witchcraft classes, she put a bag of shrooms in the fucking donation can. I found that later. Yeah, I never know what people were going to put in that thing, and I didn't fucking look. But eventually, that sliding scale thing will fucking bite you in the ass, because some people just are dicks.
Yeah, that's not done anymore.
A lot of people are dicks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing too is, I try to explain even on the live, people are like, oh, are these free? And I'm like, no. And I promise you there is nothing free, because, there are people out there that doing free readings and, probably not legit. But, if somebody's giving you a free reading, I was like, no, I'm sorry. Like, that's not going to happen, because later on down the line, that energy is going to take something, and it might not be something you're willing to part with.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you might as well just pony up front and make sure that everything is copacetic, and you go from there, because that's the way that I've always been taught, is there's always an exchange of energy. It needs to take place. It's the law of the universe.
Yeah. I understand some people when they're starting out, doing that, free readings, or at least the one pull card things. That's a good way to drum up business. So that's kind of advertising. That's what that is.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, but needs to be done. So I wasn't going to bring up any of your paths until you did, but you mentioned Lukumi.
Yes.
So you go like full initiation?
So no, I am actually what is considered medio sentado, and that's halfway seated.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, I have, ceremonies done. I'm continuing down that path. I've pretty much all but gone to make ocha, to the Cariocha ceremony, which is where you you get your crowning orisha. They put that orisha to your head, and that's when you do your year in white and everything like that.
Yeah.
So that's the only ceremony that I've not completely fully gone the whole gambit there. So, if anybody out there understands, leukemia, or, obviously people probably better know it as Santeria. But it's all Orisha worship, Orisha veneration. And it's a beautiful religion, it's beautiful practice. But yeah, that's where I'm at on the journey there. I have some things, and it's just about putting things together for the whole big ordeal, because it's a big, huge, it's a life-changing thing when you fully become one with your tutelary orisha when they put that to your crown.
Yeah.
And so I've been to those ceremonies. Obviously there's stuff that I'm not allowed to see because I'm not there yet. But I still got to work. It's a lot of people will say that religion is best learned with a broom in your hand, and that couldn't be more true. The kitchen is probably the most important place in any ile, which is a spiritual house of Orisha. Anything you do in the kitchen is paramount. That's where you learn a lot of learning gets done in the kitchen, because it really takes a community. You can't just go out and get crowned and then all of a sudden start I'm gonna do ceremonies and I'm gonna have a bunch of god kids and all this stuff. And no, you need a community. Yeah. And I see a lot of people out there that are just like, oh yeah, I'm a priest, I'm an initiated priest, and I got all these god kids, and oh cool, where's your ile? Oh no, I just do this. I'm like, you don't just do it. Like, where's your community at? Like it's a community minded thing.
Yeah. Well, our Tata was also a priest in Ocha, and he was trying to get us involved in Ocha. So we didn't get to go in, but we were on the outside of the ceremony. I remember Marta was plucking chickens.
Yep.
I was guarding livestock and bringing it in whenever told to bring in a piece of livestock. And then we got to go in and see the person that had been crowned and, lie down in front of them. And they told us that's what you're supposed to do and all that. But it was all on the outside. But it was a community. And I think what people don't understand about like those ATRs, it ain't easy. It ain't like no Wiccan initiation, and it ain't cheap. And
it is not.
If you see all the people involved, that's why it ain't cheap. And all the food, everybody needs to get fed. The drummers need to get paid. The participants, the people involved in the main things, they all need, it's their time. And it's like, I think that was a 2-day ceremony, right? Yeah, because we went 2 days.
Yeah, they'll do the karaoke. I mean, so they'll start. You'll start doing. If you're the one to go crown, you'll be there for about a week. At the UA doing things. But for everybody, it's about a 2-day thing, because you have the karaoke ceremony, and then the next day is usually the drumming, and when they do the presentation of the new Yawo or Yawosita.
Yeah, it's a big fucking deal.
Oh yeah,
a whole community involved.
It is, and but you know what? Like I said, it's one of the most beautiful things I've had the pleasure of being a part of.
Right on.
But yeah,
So,
I mean, that's where I'm at. That's my thing. That's what I'm doing. And, you know, my Farifuna Risha.
So let's see, you're making oils. We talked a little bit about that. Making, I saw Gree bags.
Yes. So I do make Gree-Grees. I have like some just regular generics, you know, set aside. I don't even have them listed like on the website, but you know, I have just some generic Gree bags put together for, you know, individual purposes. You know, like I have a Crown of Success Gree, I have an Attraction Gree, I have a money Gree. But what I like to do, like if you look at the website, is, you know, I want to customize it because it's really how it should be done. You know, you don't just, you know, throw herbs in a bag and bury it in the ground and that's, you know, there's your Gree. No, like that's why I want to sit down with the person, talk about, you know, what their goals are, what they're trying to do, what kind of, you know, influence they're trying to bring. And that's why I do the custom Gree bags the way I do. Like I said, you know, yeah, I can make all the, you know, I can turn any well, not any oil, but, you know, the regular stuff that we see in, like, you know, a conjure shop. You know, you got to have, you know, your Crown of Success, your Road Opener, your Blockbuster, your Van, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
You know, you can take any one of those and make a Gree out of it, but it's not the same. So, like I said, I prefer to do the custom stuff, and, you know, I like to make sure that my work is on point and it's doing what it's supposed to do. You know, I'm not going to be out there half-assing stuff, especially if I'm putting my name on it. And you know, that's, you know, I believe in integrity, so.
Yeah. It's rare. Especially on TikTok.
Yeah. Especially on TikTok and just, you know, the times that we're in.
Yeah, like there's, that one woman that made a prayer garden for Native Americans and took all this money and didn't give any to the Native Americans. That's a big one.
I didn't hear about that.
And then there's, I don't know, do you know, everybody's talking about on TikTok that there's 3 people of the Witch Talk community that passed away. I only saw 2 of them. You know any of those people?
Who?
The 3 people in the last couple days from Witch Talk passed away. Witchfoot's talking about a lot. She knew all 3 of them. I saw 2 of their pictures and never had seen their page, but I don't know who the 3rd person was.
Oh, no, I haven't seen anything about that.
All right, so you know nothing about that either. All right, yeah. I guess he had a lot of people, you know, doing dedications for them and shit, but I don't know who they are.
No, I have not seen. I don't see any of Witchfoot's content really. Every once in a while.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I follow all these people, and you know, I'll see Thomas the Villain Bishop like 20 times a day, and not see half the other people in there. It's an algorithm thing. Yeah, we'll figure it out someday.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that sucks though. I mean, like, usually you'd think you know, that'd be something that they would want to throw on everybody's page.
Yeah, it's what's been on my pages, definitely. Witchfoot and a few different people talking about it. But the 2 different people I saw weren't creators that I recognized.
Gotcha. And is this like a big? Is it like a big scandal thing, or are
no,
they just?
I didn't hear any scandalous. Just, you know, just so happened that 3 people passed away within, you know, a couple days of each other. That a lot of people seem to know. Apparently, they were popular creators, but nobody that's come across my feed.
I'll have to look into that one then.
Yeah, Witchfoot's talking about it, so definitely, like, her last several videos have been about it. So apparently, she knew him pretty well.
Gotcha.
Trying to get Witchfoot on soon, but hard person to get a hold of, that Witchfoot.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. WitchyDude, thank you for coming on Wittersons. You can catch Wittersons almost every Wednesday night, unless we decide to take a day off. You can follow us on our Facebook page, to find out when we're taking a day off. But check out ThatWitchyDude.com. I know my occult stuff, and I know my shops. And even though I've owned this shop for like 20 years, no matter where I go, I'm always perusing the shops, checking it out. And I clearly see right away that witchy dude doing it the way it should be done. And, might be more expensive on some things, less expensive on other things, but it's fucking worth it rather than get some fucking crackerjack cookie cutter shit from some corporate occult factory.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Indio.
Well, thanks for coming on, man. I'll be seeing.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah. We're going to see you on the other side. Get over there.
Thank you. It was really nice to meet
ThatWitchyDude.com,
you.
man. And ThatWitchyDude on TikTok.
Maybe
Yep.
we'll see you in these here parts someday.
Yeah, you better tell us when you're coming.
Oh, I will for sure.
All right, man. Blessed be, and a bunch of other stuff that I'm not going to say.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. It sounds good. All
Bye-bye.
All right. Talk later, man.
right.
That Witchy Dude on Winners in the Radio. I guess I'm not going to plug that right now. I think I plugged everything I need to plug. You can check out my classes, gumroad.com/witchschool. That's Gumroad, like gum on your shoe, and a road that you got the gum on, and Witch School, WITCHSKEWL. Gumroad.com/witchschool. Just follow me. About every 2 months, we got another class coming out. Rather than tell you when the next class is coming out, but if you're listening to this live, a class just came out. So you can still sign up for the June classes for June 2022. I think the next show we have Darren Taylor coming on.
Oh, we do?
Yes, the artist formerly known as Derek Torval. Wait,
Butte.
Butte something, and then he was Tornado Torville. He was a
Wasn't there
professional
something,
wrestler at one point.
That has to do with Azzy? Our dog, remember? We're like, we named our dog after you, and he was all flattered.
Yeah, shit.
What was it?
Oh God, he had so many names. I'm sure if you go back to being in our archives, you'll find it. But he's been an occult author, and he's done a bunch of shit. And then he was a professional wrestler for a while. And I'm sure it got to be an interesting interview, because that's an interesting sounding bunch of shit right there. So. We're going to play you something, and we're going to get out of here, and we'll see you next time.
What was it? It was something that had to do with the Azzy.
So bad.